When I found out that I was gonna get out of the Army, I had to kind of like come to an understanding that I was gonna have to go do something. I just can't be a bum. I've always had a love for the agriculture, but it's never been something that was on my radar. You know, I joined the Army when I was 19, and at that time I joined because I was lost in the sauce. I had nothing going on, and that became into, well, a legitimate career. So I started digging around and I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I truly want to do that's going to make me happy and maybe even be able to be with my family a lot more, at least with my kids and my wife. I found a program through Texas A&M for veterans that want to become farmers and ranchers. The program is called Battleground to Breaking Ground. And everything that I've accomplished so far, it is because of that program. When I first was trying to figure out what enterprise I wanted to get in specifically, I always liked chickens. I was like, well, chicken seems cool, right? Like broilers, meat chickens, whatever. I remember my mentor, she told me, she was like, okay, have you ever killed birds? And I was like, no. He's like, okay, before you want to get into this industry, into this field, you need to make sure that you can actually kill a bird. Because a lot of people say they want to do it, and then they get out there and they, I don't want to. I didn't have that issue, but she was like, you need to make sure before you jump the gun and say that you want to do A, B, C, and D. This one right here, I ended up, so because I have no maroon over here where I can't put them, I'm gonna wait for them to go all inside tonight.
Okay.
And when they're all inside, I'm gonna grab the whole wagon and put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah. But that way I can move them all like that.
Do they just gather themselves in the coop, or do you kind of have to corral?
No, by themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like they know that that's their safe space.
Okay.
They know that if they go in there, they're all safe. Because at first, when I first brought them, about 10 of them will stay outside.
Okay.
But then eventually now they all get in there, and they all fit.
And so moving them is actually kind of easy, or?
It's easy. Like if you have the space, like if I had the space here, I would literally just move them. It's super quick,
Yeah.
like 10 minutes.
Okay, no.
I mean, you could leave the eggs.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. The problem is that some chickens get bored and they start pecking at things. And what we saw specifically with these is that
Pecking at the eggs.
the eggs and they'll eat them, right? Once they know what it is and it tastes yummy, they'll eat them. When I process chickens, right, the carcasses, I throw carcasses at them. They eat them.
Really?
Yeah. Any carcass you throw at them, they will eat it. Not the bone, right, but all the meat. Yeah. So like usually I give them, like 5 or 6 carcasses.
Okay.
So they can just feast.
Yeah.
Or when my buddy has like salad, like extra salad that kind of went bad for consumer,
Okay.
like as long as they're organic, I'll take them.
Yeah.
And all his stuff is organic. So,
Are they eating stuff like ants? Like?
oh, they debug everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere they go, that's the first thing they go. They go to bugs and the grass. And then they just pick out everything else. But yeah, they're like chickens itself are perfect for debugging. They'll eat like big critters, spiders, ants. They don't really mess with. They'll eat them.
Yeah.
But it's not like something they chase,
Okay.
but the ants run away. Like you could tell, like if we move into an area where there's like an ant pile,
Yeah.
like the ants kind of like
Really?
move.
Okay.
Yeah. How many?
We got 45 eggs total.
But how many eggs in here?
18.
Okay.
I mean, no, never mind. 17. Sorry, 17.
17. Okay. Then the other reason we do it like that every day is because it helps us keep track. Because the other thing is you want to see what percentage you're at. Because if for whatever reason, if your numbers drop, you need to figure out if some of them are sick, or you need to figure out which ones are your older ones. Like these will lay for a year at this speed, and then they'll plummet. And at which point I'll just find like a homesteader to come buy them for like $3-4 a pop. After about 2 to 2.5 years, they start dropping, right? These should be able to give you, unless they're molting, which is like during the winter months, they should be able to give you an egg a day, more or less. Some of them, as long as you're over that 70%, at least from a business perspective, as long as you're over that 70%, you're at least making your money. Like you're making some. Anything higher will be great.
And then it can go down to maybe an egg every couple days or something like that.
So when they get older, like an egg every other day or egg every third day, it just depends. Now, some of the ones over there, they're not like high producers, like the buff Orpingtons, even the lavender Orpingtons, and even the Easter eggers will only give you like an egg every other day.
Gotcha.
The Easter eggers right now, they're so great right now is because they're at their peak. They just started laying.
Okay.
So right now they're peak production, but then it slowly kind of just deteriorates.
Okay.
Especially because they're not high producers. High producers are like these. These are high lines.
Okay.
These are high producers. Other ones are like Isa Browns, which I have 5 over there. Those can give you 300 to 320 a year, but they'll die in like 3 years because their output is so intense for their bodies that their bodies they'll literally die in like 3 years. Now these can live for 4 or 5 years, but you know, the other thing that like people, and specifically people at the market actually understand that is that our eggs, well, our chickens, both the broilers and the layers, they're fed a certified organic and a certified non-GMO feed, and it's also soy-free, right? So the difference between essentially a pasture-raised, organic-fed chicken as opposed to just a pasture-raised is completely different.
Yeah.
The feed is what costs more, and that's what drives up the price up. We only been doing it for about 6 months. As of now, it's been great. The farmers markets have been amazing. I don't think there's a week where we don't come back with eggs ever. You know, and granted, we only take about 20, 25 dozen max to the farmers market. That's how much these ladies are producing now. But it's always a good time, right? Specifically the market where we are, they're all regenerative farmers. All of them. At least those like ranchers and farmers, all of them. It's at a park. It's within the community around Sunset Ridge. But the turnout's amazing, man. The people are all local people from within the community that they literally that's their grocery store. They come and then they get, you know, they get their greens, they get their beef, their pork, their chicken, their carrots, everything they get there. The biggest hurdle is oneself, either in self-doubt or just because you don't want to invest the money in it because you think it's going to fail. Hey, at the end of the day, if it fails, it fails, but at least you can say you try it. And here in like 20, 30 years when you're older, you can't be like, oh man, I wish I should have done it that like 30 years ago. Because you're never going to know if you would have made it or not. We wanted our business to be Christ-centered. We were looking at names. Me and my wife, we were just brainstorming and we were like, well, what about Born Again? I honestly envisioned my life 20 years in the Army and then retiring. And the fact that I did not, I medically retired at 11 years. For me, it was like being born again because I never would have discovered something like this. You know, I was already so used to the processes and everything that we did in the service that I never ever pictured anything outside. This is by far more rewarding because for me, my most important thing is God, my wife, and then the kiddos. Everything else after that, you know, in whatever order you would desire.
All right, y'all, thanks for watching. This video was produced in partnership with Amina Thomas of Nourish'd Produce. If you want to support local farmers and get first dibs on the freshest produce in San Antonio, check out the Nourish'd Produce membership. It's just $25 a year and gives you access to seasonal items, exclusive offers, and a deeper connection to where your food comes from. You can learn more at nourishedproduce.com. And if you like this video, our tour of Born Again Farms, don't miss our feature of another one of Nourish'd Produce's growers, the San Antonio Soil Sister. You'll love her front yard garden transformation. Links to both are in the description below. All right, y'all, we'll see you next time.